Oh, actually, I actually had you have answered a lot of my questions. Actually, I had. I
Okay.
just questions. They're not quick. Um, so, do you recommend VAs? Like, so basically, someone that kind of has a budget, but not like, oh, I could just ball
So
out and do like
so
ten
I
dollars.
just did an entire video on like VAs and I did a live stream. So go and watch them in their entirety.
Okay,
But
definitely.
listen, guys, the first 2.5, I waited 2 years before I even brought a VA into my business. And the truth of it, the why, because VAs weren't really existence when I started. So like it was an anomaly. It was like weird. So like I came in the latter part of VAs. Now VAs they're like literally everywhere. The problem is I'm here to tell you there's more VAs than there are jobs, and they know that. Do me a favor when you get a chance, go look on YouTube and look up VA, and
Okay,
they train VAs how to customize their interviews for wholesalers to get the job. They teach them how to lie to you. Like it's really bad. Like, and by the
shoot.
way, VAs, a lot of people think it's going to fix their problems. The reality is, if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to create a whole new level of complexity that you didn't even know existed. So
Yeah,
you have to pick tasks. I would, if I'm just starting out, I'm never going to have a VA contact a seller ever, ever. Like only on like the extreme follow up list that they fell the crap, and I need someone to like follow up on those. Okay,
okay.
what I call kind of dead leads, or like they're gone. You got nothing to lose, but you don't want to ever talk to your sellers because the reality is most people start out VAs, they pay them too cheap. They get ones from the Philippines. And by the way, you'll
Hmm.
have roosters clucking in the background. I promise you.
Yeah,
They're going to ask you for money up front. And if you don't know what you're doing, they will take such advantage of you. You have no idea. They're, I had a VA once after I had to let her go. But I said, listen, if I gave you $20, can you tell me how this really works? She's like, yeah, she told me she was running 42 jobs when she had me working for her. And I'm thinking like I'm taking advantage of her at $3 an hour. Like she's taking advantage of me. So they've built stuff in place now to, you can do like screen captures, like every 30 seconds, it'll record their screen and they only get, and then you can, but I got time to go through that. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what am I going to watch every 30 seconds, see what was on her screen? So if you're going to hire a VA, try to have them focus on like marketing or like lead generation type of activities. Okay.
yeah.
If you're going to hire someone for Philippines, understand it's a 13-hour time difference. They cannot talk to your customers. They'll fall asleep.
Oh yeah, of course.
Anytime you want to have someone talk to a customer, go to Central or South America because they're much more fluent in the English language and they're only a couple hours off in the time zone. It's manageable.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
find a task that they can do and start very small. And then here's the problem is you got to write an SOP is. You know what an SOP is?
Nope.
Standard operating procedure.
Okay.
So say you wanted them to um, do, say you wanted them to do a, say they were able to pull the probates from your county and you gave her the
Mhm.
list and then he or she had to cross-reference to the property appraiser site and then they had to help you go into your skip trace service. That's it. Like, here's what I'm hiring you to do. And then you got to write it out. And then you've got to take what's in your head and you got to get it down to 20% of the most important stuff. And you got to write it at the third grade level. And you got to try it 1 or 2 weeks yourself because if you don't know how to do it, she or he's going to take advantage of your time. And then, because here's the problem with VAs if they're $3 an hour or $9 an hour, how many hours does it take you to do it? That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah, of
And
course.
then are you going to do it right so I don't have to pay someone to do it all over? So a lot of people will give a VA and they treat them like an assistant. VAs are not good assistants for beginner wholesalers. It's we're dude, my ADHD, I ate VAs for lunch. Like, but the truth was it was my fault because it's like telling a child, go over there and make me a peanut butter jelly sandwich with no instructions. You just assume they know how to do it. They don't.
Okay.
And then what they do is you fall asleep and they start taking on other clients and it's like a train wreck. So make sure you have a specific task. And I always compartmentalize VAs when I'm starting out. Why? Because when one doesn't want to work, if it doesn't, I'm going to replace them and put somebody else in. And I'm going to have an SOP and I'm going to keep adjusting it. And then when you give a VA like 4 or 5 important tasks,
Hmm.
and they lose power, they lose internet, or they ghost you for maybe a internet issue, you're in big trouble. And
Oh yeah,
that's
of
the
course.
problem with that. So typically I tell people to hire VAs when you are starting getting frustrated because you have too many tasks to do, and go, okay, what are 2 or 3 tasks that I can pull out that I could train a 3rd grader to do? It's the truth. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
they can't. So many people think they can get inside your head and figure out how to do this. I'm telling you, they can't. You gotta, so just smart, and then you learn, and then you can see. And then here's the other thing. Okay, you got to give, if you're going to hire a VA and you're committed to it, you got to give them 90 days unless they like don't show up to work or like don't do anything. Then you just fire them. Okay, but 90 days because they still going to have to figure it out. And I
Yeah.
tried at the beginning. You want them to do stuff that's going to help you contact more motivated sellers. Don't ever hire them to contact the motivated sellers. It's a 6-month pain train, buddy. Like, trust me. Because people in the United States, they have no tolerance for people's lack of not like. I remember I hired a VA from the Philippines once. It took me 6 months. I mean, I went through a lot. I was paying her $9 an hour. It took me 6 months. Now, they got the low hanging fruit. Anyone can get the low hanging fruit, but the ones that took work is where we really make our money. They're like, I don't, why is there a rooster crow in the background? Why does she not understand what a basement is? And like they our our culture here. So not only do you have to teach them the business, you got to teach them nuances of the English language. So like the guy told me that was dope. Are we smoking? What's going on? Like stuff like that. And then you have to teach them the culture. And
Yeah.
sometimes some of them have it and some of them don't. If you guys think you can go to paid services, you're going to get killed. So find a task or two that's driving you nuts, and do me a favor. Don't hire a $3 VA. You're going to get
No,
you're going
not
to
at all.
get your butt kicked. So
Yeah.
between $6 and $8 is what they should go for, and then just and look at their track record and everything they do, and just kind of figure it out. But back to your question is, you hire someone when like you're starting to like you can't get to all your leads, and you're spending more time doing paperwork than you are meeting with customers. Then you just go, okay, and just take one task at a time. And so a lot of time with the VAs, I go, I'm going to give you one task. I'm going to give you a week to get it done. If it works out, that's great. I've got $50 on the line for you if you get it done right. That's it. So you can do a one-time job in like Upwork. And remember, that's the best they'll ever typically be. And by
Okay.
the way, all VAs are wonderful and nice to you, but they got to get a job done. I don't have time to go through those screen records and stuff like that. I hate that stuff. Does that answer it?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly,
And
does
go
that.
back and watch. I did a live video and I did a recorded video, and it's probably about 3.5 hours of. It's probably about 3 hours of content, and you can just kind of watch through it, and then you can pick the information you want. Because I tell the process of like when you got to start hiring them, firing them, where to find them, how much to pay them, how to
Mhm.
keep them accountable. It's a lot of work, guys. A lot of people think you hire a VA. Oh, I'm solved. Honestly, it feels good. It's like hiring. It's like hiring a real estate coach. You give him or her $5,000. They go, they're gonna take me to the promised land. They're like, how many people did you call today? I'm like, oh, how many do you want me to? Go? I told you to call 500. How many did you call? I go, I didn't call any. He goes, well, I can't help you. Call me back when you do it. And that's what that's just the truth, guys. You can't blame the coach for that either. It's like you've got it, and they go, oh crap, I actually have to work. That 5 or 10 grand is not going to put a duplex in my driveway. Same thing with like the VA. So
Yeah. Exactly.
once you figure it out, it's not a big responsibility, but like you're just wasting money and time if it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Most
Exactly.
people fire a VA too quick and they give them very little information, and that's why most of them fail.
Okay.
I'm like the prodigy child of that. So think about that. If you had to have somebody sit next to you, what tasks would you get them? How well would you train them? It's painful, man.
Exactly.
Everything takes time to train. And if you get a VA like that's perfect, if say they were $20 an hour, you're still gonna have to train them. So it's
Oh
not
yeah. Of
gonna change.
course. It's like a regular employee. Yeah. 100%.
Okay, man. I'll talk to you, bud.
All right. Have a good one. Nice meeting
Okay,
you.
see you, man. Later.